welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel rather, if you're new around here. I'm Emmy and I'm, well, the artist of this page. And today's video is a little bit of a painting video. I decided that I wanted to do some watercolor painting today, and I figured I'd film it for you guys. Maybe it would be a little bit interesting. I went into this entire session of painting completely without any ideas. I didn't know what my end goal was. And I think sometimes when I create art, that's kind of how I go into things. I don't really have an idea. I just kind of draw and just let my imagination take me, per se. So, yeah, I figured that at least while I'm recording like videos and things, I would maybe answer a few questions. So I went on to Pinterest and I literally just searched up some typical art questions or artist related questions that I kind of wanted to try and answer. So yeah, if you guys like these kind of sit down, chatty, watching me create things as I'm talking and answering questions, then maybe stick around if you want to. It means a lot if you do. So let's just get right into them, shall we? Okay, so question 1, what inspires you? Okay, so cute animals, flowers. I'm really kind of just into the softer, cozy type art, so kind of inspired by the countryside quite a lot. I don't live near any like countryside. I live kind of like halfway in between countryside slash town, so I'm kind of in that weird midsection. And even if I'm not from like an actual countryside area, I still do enjoy seeing, rolling hills and mountains and that sort of thing. And I think that's what really inspires me to create my art, because I just see all this color all the time near enough. So yeah, I think that's what inspires me the most, as well as Studio Ghibli as well. I love his work. And leading on from that question, I had another one that was, what motivates you? Um, I'm not entirely sure what motivates me to create art. I think it's more of just something that I've always enjoyed doing. I have a degree within art. I have a degree in fashion. And although I don't create clothes, I don't create any of that sort of thing anymore, I still enjoy the processes of making things. So I guess that's what motivates me to keep going. Um, Then always being inspired as well. Obviously, you can't be an artist if you're not have some sort of inspiration. So, yeah. Okay, so next question. Do you typically lean towards traditional or digital art? I would say I lean maybe towards more digital art. I used to be very heavy in terms of traditional, so I used to paint a lot, I used to draw, I used to create 3D sculptures out of clay a bunch, and that kind of stopped as soon as I hit university. I ended up taking more of a traditional route because that's just what they wanted when I was in uni. So I never fully got to explore more mediums within traditional art, and I kind of missed that. So that's why I created this channel, was to kind of get back into the traditional art side of things. I mean, of course, I would still show my digital art as well, but I just wanted to have an art channel where I could just explore my traditional art without feeling like I have to post all the time. Next question. When did you get into art? I don't really know what started it. I guess maybe just seeing my older sister creating art and things when I was a kid. Maybe that's what inspired me. I mean, I've always loved drawing, so maybe that was what started it. Okay, so next question. Favorite color palette? I think it, for me, depends on the season, but I do tend to go more towards like pastel colors. especially pinks and blues and yellows and greens and that sort of thing. So I really just enjoy kind of like spring, summer type colors. Next question. Favorite flower to draw? Maybe pansies and roses and daisies, maybe? Just because I feel like they're probably the easiest flowers for me to draw. But then it just depends, because as long as I'm looking at a reference picture, if I don't know how to draw something, I usually look for reference pictures of the actual thing, and then I just kind of follow the shape of that and then just kind of figure out as I go. But I think for the most part, probably daisies, roses, and pansies, because it's just what I always lean towards. Next question. Where do you see your art going? I would love to have an art shop. I think it would be amazing and kind of fun to do. So that's something that I'd like. Maybe being able to see my products or my art in someone else's space is also what's driving me towards that. So yeah, I guess that's kind of where I see my art going. And the last question was, when will your shop be open? I've already answered this, but June 10th, it'll be on Etsy. I'll obviously have everything already linked and things on my page and things, so you guys will be notified when it's uploaded. Especially if you follow my Instagram. Selfless plug here. If you follow on there, you guys will get like the immediate knowledge that it's open. So okay, last question is, what kind of medium do you like using when you're doing traditional? So when I'm doing digital, I mainly use the color pencil and the watercolor that's already in the app. That's what I use for digital. For traditional, the medium that I usually like drift towards is probably acrylics or clay as well. I tend to drift more of the opposite end of the spectrum in terms of art mediums compared to what I would do digitally, and I think that's just probably maybe how I was taught in high school and taught throughout like my educational life. I was always just taught to just go for something that's vibrant. So for me, acrylics are pretty vibrant. So maybe it's just because I've always learned to use acrylic as well. I mean, as you guys can see from the video, I'm starting to learn more watercolor based things, and although I'm not the best at it, in case you guys can't tell, but it's something that I'm willing to learn, and I think as I get more comfortable with the medium, as well as using like coloring pencils to really bring it to life, I think eventually, maybe hopefully, it'll look better than what it does currently. That's the end goal anyway. But yeah, so my go-to mediums for traditional is probably acrylics or clay work, that sort of thing. Yeah, I think that's all of the questions that I've had. So yeah, I hope you guys learned something a little bit more about me.